I recently went to Le Mans and I saw Kévin Estre's insane pole lap in the Porsche 963, and that got me wondering, what sim is the most realistic one around Le Mans? That's exactly what we're going to be checking out in this video. We're going to be comparing a couple of simulators to Kévin Estre's magnificent pole lap at the 24 Hours of Le Mans. Now, matched up Kévin Estre's pole lap with Le Mans Ultimate and iRacing, and heading into T1, you can see there's already a pretty big difference. Here on the outside, the paint is slightly different, and that is because iRacing has a slightly older scan than Le Mans Ultimate. What you'll be able to notice is that it also doesn't have 3D curbs. As you can see on the braking into the second corner, into the Dunlop chicane, I'm able to be a lot more on the curb, almost putting all of the car on the curb on Le Mans Ultimate, and in real life on Kévin Estre's lap, we're sort of having to take it a bit more careful on that curb and not really mount it on the entry. Now, on the apex of the Dunlop chicane, there is a massive difference. On iRacing, I'm able to absolutely smack this curb. You can see I'm using all of the track, going all the way to the gravel, not really having any issues with it. On Le Mans Ultimate, there is a little bollard on the inside that I'm having to avoid. If not, I'll get a track limit. So the track limits look very, very realistic on Le Mans Ultimate, whereas on iRacing, I'm just cutting so much out of it. It's actually insane. Something crazy as well is that you'll notice on the exit of the Dunlop chicane, Kévin Estre's inputs and my inputs in Le Mans Ultimate are completely the same. You can see we're both slightly counter steering here on the exit, and that to me just shows like the simulators that we're dealing with nowadays are super accurate, and later on in the video I'll show you exactly why that is, because there's something that absolutely blows my mind. Anyways, welcome back to another Overtake GG video. My name is Marcus, and if you are enjoying this content, make sure to subscribe with notification bell on. Now let's get into the rest of this lap, and let me blow your mind with the accuracy of sim racing nowadays. Going down through the first S's, the first thing I notice is the insane speed difference that iRacing has on both real life and Le Mans Ultimate. iRacing's minimum speed is something like 15-20 kilometers an hour faster. It's just got so much grip, so much downforce that it's absolutely insane and super fast compared to Le Mans Ultimate in real life. And you're able to see that on the apex of Tête Rouge as well. You can see in iRacing, I actually get to the apex of the corner probably like 7/10 before I get there in the Le Mans Ultimate and before Kévin Estre gets there on his lap. So already now we can declare that in the corners, looks like iRacing is just way faster than what realistically is. On top of that, the biggest thing I noticed here on the exit is that on iRacing, the curb is basically non-existent. You don't really have to pay attention to it. It's more used as a track limit than it is used as something that's actually tricky to go on. Now going down the back straight, I just want to check out the top speeds. Now coming down to the first chicane, Kévin Estre is reaching 325 kilometers an hour, while my lap in Le Mans Ultimate is reaching 334, and my lap in iRacing is reaching 324. Into the first chicane, once again in iRacing, we're just using the curbs like they're basically non-existent, where you can see on Kévin Estre's lap, he's fighting a lot more for the grip. The curbs are really making a big difference, and so is the same on my lap in Le Mans Ultimate. I'm sort of fighting, I'm really working to try and find the grip, especially over the curbs, and the curbs really do make a big difference. Now, while we're going down the back straight, I just want to give an honorable mention to some of the other games I tried out. I did test out games like Project Cars 2 and Automobilista 2, but the best ones in my opinion of all the games I tested on Le Mans was Le Mans Ultimate and iRacing, because they both have a laser scan version of it, and it's the best one. So those are the ones we're comparing to Kévin Estre's lap in this video. Once again, same story into the second chicane. You can see on my Le Mans Ultimate lap and on Kévin Estre's lap at the top, both of us are really working to try and find the grip. You can see over the curbs, the car is getting a bit sketchy. It's getting, you know, it's feisty over the curbs on Kévin Estre's lap and on my Le Mans Ultimate lap. Whereas in iRacing, once again, I'm basically just smoothly driving over them. It's basically like they're not there compared to the other two. Into Mulsanne corner, you'll notice that I'm able to brake a lot later in iRacing than I am in LMU. And what you'll notice as well is the exit curb is totally totally flat in iRacing, whereas in LMU with the newer scan it's more realistic. You can see there's not that much runoff. Now going down the back straight, Kévin Estre actually gets a bit of a slipstream from an LMP2 car. Now he does get compromised into Indy, so I don't think this is really giving him any benefit in the lap time. Once again, what you'll notice here is that in iRacing I'm just able to brake so much later. I'm able to mount the curb on the right hand side and then get on the braking after that, whereas in Le Mans Ultimate I'm having to brake a slight bit before that and then get on the brakes more after that. Now into Anars, there really isn't anything. It's just a 90-degree corner. Both of the sims are actually pretty accurate in this one. They're also very similar, so nothing crazy here. But next up we have the Porsche curves, and this is probably where there is some of the biggest difference, but it's also one of the most interesting things to compare. Now first of all, on the Porsche curves I want to show you a pretty mind-blowing thing. Now look at the direction change in Porsche curves from the right-hander to the left-hander on Kévin Estre's and Le Mans Ultimate lap. It happens at the exact same time. And this is almost 3 minutes after we crossed the finish line and matched them up together. Props to that. I'm really positively surprised about how accurate Le Mans Ultimate has managed to get this. Now another thing I just quickly want to compare is the minimum speed in the Porsche curves. Now firstly, Kévin Estre's minimum speed in the first Porsche curve is 254 kilometers an hour. Le Mans Ultimate goes all the way down to 242 kilometers an hour, so that's quite a bit lower. That's 12 kilometers an hour slower than Kévin Estre's. But iRacing's minimum speed is 267 kilometers an hour for a split second. So iRacing, once again, just having so much more grip and so much more speed throughout the corner. Now once again, through the Porsche curves, iRacing is just super smooth sailing. There's nothing big with the curbs compared to the other game or Kévin Estre's lap, whereas in Le Mans Ultimate you can see the curbs do sort of make a difference in the balance if you get on the curbs, especially that exit curb of the Porsche curves, and also if you clatter the curbs too much in the Porsche curves, the car will get unstable and you'll spin out. I've done this a couple of times trying to get this lap in. Now into the Ford chicanes, here's a pretty interesting comparison actually. So going into the Ford chicanes, you can see in iRacing once again sending it over the curbs like they aren't there. On real life, you can see there are some big curves, but he's still sending it over them. On Le Mans Ultimate, they are equally as big, still sending it over them, but because they are that bigger, there just isn't as much grip as there is on iRacing, and you're just having to back down a bit more, whereas in iRacing, just sending the two first curbs. Now into the final corner, you can see Kévin Estre struggling, fighting and working hard to try and get the car to grip up into the last corner, actually having a little bit of a slide into it, and me on Le Mans Ultimate once again just fighting for it, absolutely mounting that curb with the wheel shaking. And then there's iRacing, which compared to the two other ones over those massive curbs, just looks so smooth and so simple, doesn't it? It's almost like iRacing is just about not upsetting the car in the slightest, and if you do so, you'll have to pay for it with warm tires or the car starts sliding, you just lose lap time. And that's where I think Le Mans Ultimate, in my opinion, around Le Mans is the best simulator. It's super accurate in terms of the lap times. And now that we are talking about lap times, Kévin Estre's pole lap time was a 3:24.6. My lap time in Le Mans Ultimate was a 3:25.0, so around 3.5 tenths off Kévin Estre's pole lap. Now my iRacing lap time was a 3:21.9. 2.5 seconds faster than Kévin Estre's pole lap, which is just, in my opinion, absolutely insane. Now I do hope that you enjoyed this comparison video. If you did, make sure to subscribe to Overtake GG and turn on notification bell. I've been Marcus, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.